Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here, bringing you your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 10th of August 2021. And today I am working with the Animal Totem Tarot, which really is just such a beautiful deck if you are into your animals or into, totems at all. It really is amazing. So let's get into it and see what is the message of the day. What do we need to know? What is the message that Spirit needs us to hear right now? And the first card we have is the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands gives us a stingray. And the stingray is sort of hanging out in a bay, hanging out in an area where it knows it's safe, where it knows it's safe from predators and safe from other things, and also that there is a healthy and safe, a good source of food. The Two of Wands, you can see we have these two sticks positioned right on the edge of the water, and it's the case of making you recognize that there's decisions to be made, there's choices to be made. What is it that you're going to do? The fact that we have this huge big body of water does reflect and bring about the thought of emotions. So something is weighing heavily on you today. Something is certainly stuck in your mind, stuck in your heart, and you're pondering and questioning what is it that you need to be doing today. With the stingrays, so stingrays, they cover quite a big water surface because of the shape of their bodies, but they glide so effortlessly. If you've ever watched a stingray swim through the water, it's almost like no effort at all. They just almost fly, flapping their little wings, if I can call it that, and moving gracefully through the water. And I do think that's the message of the Two of Wands for us today, is whatever this decision is, whatever this choice that you need to make today, don't get too bogged down in the emotion of it, in the water of it, but rather just let it glide effortlessly. Just go through the motions and just gently flap your wings and know that whatever the decision is, whatever choices you have to make today, it's not as complicated, and we mustn't overcomplicate it. Let's just see what the other cards are, because it'll obviously help us understand these choices and decisions that we have today. Okay, so we have got card 0, which is the card of the Fool, and we have a grasshopper who is literally leaping, literally jumping to his next destination. And we have to understand that as much as he knows he's progressing and he's moving in a certain direction, our little grasshopper here hasn't really given thought to where next, what next, how next. He's sort of just jumping and jumping and jumping and trusting that eventually he'll land in a place that's going to have all the food and the nourishment and whatever that he needs. So the Fool card is about trusting. It is about taking that leap of faith, and that's exactly what our grasshopper is doing. He is taking that leap of faith. So going back to our decision, going back to the choices and decisions we have today, sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith and trust that it's all going to work out okay. We don't always have to have all the information. So looking at this Two of Wands, yes, we can see the body of water, yes, we can see the shoreline, and we can see the stingray that's coming to say hi to us. We don't know what else is lurking beneath the surface. We don't know what other information is there. We have to just trust that it is going to be okay, and that's exactly what our grasshopper is saying to us, that sometimes in life you just have to take that leap of faith. Yes, you do have some control in making decisions, like he can choose which direction he's leaping or jumping, but he can't always see because there's obstacles in his path. He's jumped from the other side of the stick. He didn't know that there was a rock there. He didn't know that there was an obstacle, but he knew that whatever he faces, whatever comes up for him, that he is strong enough, confident enough, brave enough, and courageous enough to deal with it. And maybe when it comes to making choices and decisions, sometimes we can get quite stuck in that process, and the fear of making the wrong choice, the fear of making the wrong decision, the fear of jumping in the wrong direction is often what stops us from making the choices and the decisions that we need. Let's have a look and see the third card, because I'm hoping it's going to give us a little bit more insight into this particular situation today. Of course, yes, look at that. So we've got two major arcana cards. Okay, so before I even talk about this particular one, what I have to identify is that this choice, this decision, this action that we need to effect today, it's not a simple small thing. The fact that we've got two major arcanas indicates that it is a fairly substantial thing, situation, and circumstance in your life. So we mustn't just be too casual about it. Okay, we need to actually give it a little bit more attention, because we've got the two majors. And the other cards, so we've got the Fool, which is about a new beginning, about trusting, leap of faith, going into it, trusting and believing that everything's going to work out the way that it needs to. And then we've got the card of the moon, which, as you know, if you've ever driven down a road in the daytime and then driven the same road at night, it's almost like you question yourself and think, is it the same place? Nighttime, things look so different than they do in the daytime. We have a whole different series of animals that come out in the nighttime versus the daytime. So here we have a beautiful owl that has come out at night. Owls are associated with wisdom. Owls are associated with knowledge, with understanding, with teaching, with learning. And if you think about in this particular case, and I remember I've read in the guidebook of this deck before about the owl, and I was fascinated to read where it says that, you know, as much as the owl looks so big and so strong and so brave, if you removed all the feathers and you looked at the skeleton of the bird, you've got the skeleton of the bird that's going to be really tiny, even though the owl appears to be so much bigger, because everything is an illusion. All right. And this is exactly what the moon card, if you look at any tarot deck, the moon card is always about illusions. The moon card is always about facing your fears and things appearing to be bigger and more complicated than what they are. The moon card is also the card of Sage. Things look different in the moonlight. So we've got to understand that we may not have, and it goes back to what I was saying here about this body of water, and we can't see beneath it. We don't always have all the information on hand when it's time to make the decision, but we have to trust, we have to go with the flow, and we have to be strong enough to brave, or strong and brave enough to face any potential challenges that may come up. The other thing that I am suddenly noticing is in our Two of Wands, we've got the two sticks. And in the moon card, we've got these two, sorry, I bumped the card. We've got these two tree trunks there. So it's almost like this, and we've got the animal in the middle, and we've got the animal in the middle. Very, very interesting. And again, the number 2 is all about duality. It's all about balance. It's all about finding your rhythm and finding your space. So friends, today, Tuesday, the 10th of August, 2021, Spirit are basically saying to you, when it comes to making choices and decisions today, don't be afraid. Don't get caught up in the emotion. Even if you don't have all the information on hand, even if you don't know everything about the situation, and if you are feeling nervous that you can't make an informed decision, you've got to trust your gut, you've got to trust yourself, you've got to trust the universe, trust Spirit. They've got your back, they've got you covered. And even though it may appear scary, and even though it may appear as if, you know, things could potentially go completely wrong and wonky, everything is actually going to be okay. It just may look different from what you expected and what you anticipated as the light changes. But one thing you can be certain of is that tomorrow the sun will come up and you will see clearly, and you will know exactly where you've landed and exactly the choices and the options that you've made. I do want to acknowledge as well with the moon card, we've got this full moon here, and I think for us, we've just recently had a new moon. Which is all about setting intentions. It's all about initiating, setting the intentions, and starting new opportunities. So I do think, even though this is reflecting a full moon, it's telling you that between now, when you make the decision in the new moon, and by the time we've got the full sun, we've got the full moon, by the time the next full moon comes, this decision could actually have played out for you. So be brave, be courageous, trust that the universe has your back, go with the flow, and it doesn't matter if you don't have all the information at hand. It's actually going to work out pretty well for you. So friends, with love and blessings from my heart to yours, until we connect again, take care.